All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are live once again. Oh, I got the screen pulled up there. I didn't mean to do that. We are live for another edition of the Rough Report. Now, let's get the music down here. It is a banger, of course.
Yeah.
I wrote it. So, of course, it's a banger. Welcome to
You put the camera on just as I was eating some Starburst.
I apologize.
I'm like, I have time.
Cramming your face with candy right before your mic goes on.
Yeah.
Nice. Welcome to the Rough Report. Thanks for joining the show. Be sure to mention that you're here in the comments and be part of the conversation. We love to have you engage. I was doing a little bit of a TikTok live earlier. I don't know if anybody from that live is joining the show, but that essentially was the attempt. Get people watching the live and go, hey, if you want to argue with me some more, come and join the show. And here we are.
Yeah, tell James how much you do or do not like his mustache.
The amount of people that were like, I'm only watching because of the mustache. And it's like, oh, okay, at least you're watching. Apparently it exudes some level of authority, I guess. Over what? I don't know.
So did Margaret Thatcher have the same disdain for mustaches as she did for beards?
I didn't know she had a disdain for beards.
I knew it because of the Bill Bailey special part Troll, where he, educates us that Margaret Thatcher refused to have anyone in her cabinet that had a beard, because apparently the chin is a window to the soul, as he phrased it. So.
Yeah, I wonder what's that. Well, there was like kind of that old. I feel like it's like a bit of a Britishism that to be an upper class, upstanding person in society, you were to be shaven.
Shorn, it's a word.
Yeah, I remember it was fairly recent. I remember when I was in what is it? I can't remember. I always get Disney World and Disneyland mixed up as to which one is which.
World, OR, Orlando, and something, and Land, LA, California.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
I believe you.
All right. So I was at the one in Orlando. And I remember at the time I was surprised to find that it was actually like an employee rule across the board that all Disneyland employees had to be clean shaven. Men were not allowed to have beards or mustaches, or apparently even stubble. They were all meant to be clean shaven, and it was only recently that they actually relaxed this rule. So yeah, it's a weird status thing that clean shaven is such a thing, which is funny because you think of the traditional values lovers of conservatism, and almost like the modern face of conservatism is a bearded man.
That's
that is
because they have
kind
weak chins.
yeah. It seemed to be a way to exude or assert a certain masculineness that they feel the world has lost in some capacity. But
and
they
also
also
cannot otherwise exude because they're a bunch of.
But they go like, whatever happened to real men? And then they like show like a brawny looking like 1950s movie star with a clean shaven face.
Who is actually literally gay.
Yeah, who is gay. Yeah. I was getting there. You beat me to it.
It's because we have the same brain.
And it's so funny, like doing the TikTok live thing, because you get such people just like saying how they feel without a whole lot of education or know-how around it, which can be a good thing because people are at least being honest about where they're at, right? But the one guy who was commenting was like, I feel like a healthy society has a mixture of values, like we got to have right and left and they have to meet, and that's how we have a healthy society. And it's like, well, that's what we've apparently been attempting to do with our liberalism on this side of the world
Which
for
is
some time now, and look where we're at. Like I don't know.
Fault George Lucas for this, you son of a bitch.
What do you mean? Oh, like
George,
light and dark.
Yeah.
There's a yin and yang.
Like you.
Well, the thing is, when you're talking about like, it's a funny comparison because like when you're talking about yin and yang and the light and the dark and the balance of the universe like that. Well, when you're talking about right and left politics, you are supposing to some degree that there's a bad side and a good side, and that they somehow need to mix together. And it's just like, okay, so who are you supposing is the bad side here? Who's the dark side of the force? Right left equation, because like that seems like an important detail. And not only that, like between evil and good in some empirical sense, we just need to meet in the middle and that's healthy. It's like, I may be inclined to think that not evil is just better. Maybe get as much evil as possible.
And what is the mix? Is it like a 50-50 blend, or is it like a 30-70, maybe like a 10-90? Like,
something I used to say to people that it was a bit of like, I don't know, I think I was lying to myself at the same time when I used to say this, like when I was in like my mid-20s and being politically engaged and trying to reach across the aisle to people and have them listen to my more progressive or leftist politics. And I would say things like, maybe in a different timeline, in a different universe, or in some years down the line, it would make sense to have right-wing politics. Maybe we need right-wing politics in some occasions, but no, I don't think that's actually true.
But it's like, what positivity have right-wing politics offered in the past 40 years? If you can point me
like
to
what
a
legit
positive
benefit are we talking about here?
If you can point out, because I think that we've established well is that I love to be wrong, because when I'm wrong, it means that things aren't as bad as I think they are. And so if you can point me to literally any right-wing policy in the past 40 years that is a net benefit to society, to the environment, to life, then I want to know this.
I feel like in order, if anybody were to, from that side of the aisle, address that question, it comes with a bunch of denial of stuff. Like, well, climate change isn't a real problem. Therefore, we can just skip over that. Your problems are absolved because they're not real. And
like, so honestly, like, what's the worst case scenario of saying that climate change is a thing and being wrong? What's the worst case scenario? We protect the environment too much. Right? Like we have
it just costs so much money. Not like we're spending it on other ridiculous things that we don't need to be spending it on, like
health
subsidies to oil companies, things like that.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, like, and if someone brought up a policy that they did that maybe it would be considered left-wing by today's standards, because like the Overton window in 40 years has shifted so much. Right-wing parties back then would be considered left-wing.
But in the 40 years ago, like that encompasses Reaganomics and the Mike Harris and the Brian Mulroney, and so that's why I frame it. 40 years
they're all terrible. I'm just saying, like, even in comparison, like today, like our left parties are the right wing, so there's no, like, maybe we should add a little bit more leftism, even if you want a mix. We're not mixing. That's not what's happening.
It's becoming distinctly more right.
Left.
Like what is it? Actual leftism today is seen as this like absurd extreme, which of course has been the goal of right-wing politics as we know it. They want to establish themselves as the middle, as the norm, and they've unfortunately, in a big way, been largely successful at this.
In their framing, not in their
in their framing. In their framing,
their policies have been a net negative.
Their propaganda has been effective.
Yes.
And to that end, kind of our first topic.
We have topics.
I had a couple picked out. Because when I first saw this announced, I was like, oh yeah, this sounds like a bailout plan. Like I saw Carney's initial post about how they're going to buy up these unsold condos in BC, and apparently just today, this article dropped. Carney admits he did a poor job in rolling out the 1.45 billion BC program panned as a condo bailout. And I think that panning is largely accurate. And him saying, oh, I just didn't explain it good was, oh, I didn't propagandize this enough to soften the blow. And you people are seeing right through what I'm doing. Because like, really, if we wanted to actually do something leftist, let's say,
then he would buy those and make them public housing to actually house people, like low
that's
income
the
housing.
plan.
And
that's the plan, is to convert this into affordable housing. That's what they're saying. They're buying up these units to use it for affordable housing.
Affordable housing or low income housing?
Important distinction. There's still a lot of gray area here that a lot of people still don't know. Even like the summation of this article is still like, okay, but we still don't completely get what the scheme is here. And
I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna keep eating Starburst.
Okay. So I would say the actual left-wing thing to do here would be to be a bit more aggressive against the people who own these properties, because they failed to provide adequate housing at an adequate market value that resulted in people being homed. So why are we buying anything instead of just nationalizing it? Instead of saying, you know what? That's ours now. You failed. You dropped the ball. Your investment or your building was bad, and it resulted in bad results. And as a result, you are going to be appropriately punished for your failure. We are taking this from you and giving it to the people.
Isn't this all the risk they're supposed to be taking? Like, that's why they have all the money. Like,
exactly. So, like, as this article goes on to say, the Carney quote here, I want to say up front, I don't think we've done, myself included, a particularly good job of rolling this out and explaining exactly what this is. I think it's important to say a few words of what this is and what this isn't. Now, at the time, the announcement lacked any detail on whether these condos would be acquired at market price or a discounted rate, and what the total cost would be. There was also no clarity on what innovative financing tools would be used in the endeavor. Like, fluffy political language. We're using innovative financing tools. And like, I don't know who is supposed to hear that and go, oh, okay.
We're letting AI do the accounting. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what the big data centers he wants to build are. So like, even though he's saying, oh, I did a bad job rolling this out, we haven't explained it very well. Well, he's still not explaining it very well. There was also much confusion as to how much either government was earmarking for the acquisitions. The lack of clarity, either government is in like provincial BC and the federal government. And the lack of clarity had critics up in arms about the program, with one mortgage specialist telling Nationalist Post this week the program appeared to be a moral hazard that is socializing losses while the profits flow to developers. Yeah, like, okay, so even if we are buying this off them, even if we are paying them for it, are we getting this at a severely discounted rate? Because again, you caused a bubble to burst. You caused what is essentially amounting to a market crash in housing. Are we reaping any benefit from that failure, or are we just incurring all of the cost? That seems to be a question that still up in the air for some freaking reason. And it's crazy to me that they feel like they can do that. They're like, that's where we are with like governments in general now, whether it be in the US on the federal state level down there or the provincial and federal level up here. There doesn't seem to be any actual obligation on the public officials' part to be explicit in saying this is what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Of course not, because what? We're gonna vote in conservatives? No, so they always win. Like it's gonna be it's like they'll just not be conservatives.
And I think it's very important to note that the BC NDP are their very own animal, right? And so
yeah,
from
they're
Ontario,
kind of not. They're not like the Ontario NDP. They're not like
Yeah.
the federal NDP. Yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of exist in a weird bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the BC NDP seems more like the BC Liberal Party, just from the policies and everything that I've seen enacted. But the BC Conservatives seem like so far down the rabbit hole, like Daniel Smith esque conservatives, that they're just completely unelectable in BC. And so that's why the BC NDP seems to have this strange stranglehold on the province, giving themselves like a leftist moniker without necessarily having leftist policies, because the other options are just so far beyond the pale for a leftist province that they I wish that the Green Party in NDP, because pardon me, the Green Party in BC, because I understand that the Green Party still does have some right wing social policies, so far as I'm caught up to date on, but like I can't say for certain in NDP.
Yeah,
in BC.
I mean, I wish the Greens were on the map enough that I would have something to say about that.
Yeah,
But I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember years back, kind of hearing stuff about this, even like Ontario Green Party or Federal Green Party, that they had a lot of conservative values, just kind of mixed with prioritizing the environment, right? So weird. Like social policy is in, perhaps. Yeah, well, we're not like those other crazy hippies. We're against the gays, but we care about the environment. Something like that.
Yeah, which seems like a totally consistent opinion.
Yeah, like and you can't be pro the environment and also pro capitalist in any way. So it just some of the
it's a complete contradiction. I mean, it's a fairy tale fantasy to be like, yes, we care about the environment, but we're going to preserve capitalism. Like these things are so fundamentally opposed.
And I wish that Elizabeth May had been successful in getting a successor already, because she's been trying to get out of the game. She's been trying to leave the leadership position. She's been trying to, as I've complained. Sorry?
It's not a great sign for their party that they can't.
No, and that's the thing is that, and that's the thing. Like my big gripe that I've expressed is the lack of succession planning and forward thinking, and the Green Party is, and Elizabeth May is an example of attempting succession planning but failing at it. Because like you can tell that for like over a decade now, because I've lost track of time, and so I'm just gonna say over a decade. Then she's been trying to step back and trying to let the next generation of politicians take over from what she started. She's been trying, and that hasn't worked out. Whereas with the other parties, we see that just suddenly, like, oh, they resigned, oh, they died, oh, they got hit by a bus, sent to Mars, they whatever. Like, oh, suddenly, like, this is we never foresaw that we'd need to replace a party leader. Whereas with the Green Party, they seem like the only one who has attempted to do this succession planning, and then it just didn't fucking work. I would love to see more of that happen. Just speaking about the succession planning, even if it doesn't work, like I want to see all the parties thinking about this. Maybe not the Conservative Party. Maybe just continue to put all of your hopes on Polyev. That's fine. Keep going. That's fine. But the other one,
because this guy is bad, so we just go to other guy, and that will be good. And
don't worry about that Conservative
politics.
Party. You're doing great. So Polyev, he's the only
next
one.
Next time. Try. Yeah.
No, there's no next time. Just keep going with him. Don't worry about it. He's gonna be your guy. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, honey. But for like the Liberals and the NDP, so yes, the NDP now has, what's his name? Abby Lewis?
Yes.
Abby. Okay.
Abby,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, yes, you have him. He seems great. Please consider succession planning now, right?
Yeah. He should be lining up the next guy already.
Next several people, right? And so like don't pull focus away from him, like platform him, build him, but in the background understand that people are human and finite and mortal and shit happens. So please,
I'll get to this after this. It will be it wasn't one of the predetermined topics I had in mind, but you just reminded me of something, and I'm going to want to pull that up in a minute. Speaking of just succession planning, government planning, things like that.
Sure, we'll
we'll get to that in a second. But Carney does break down the money a little bit in this article, but again, not super clear. He said the total acquisition budget is $1.45 billion, with the federal government tagged for only 10%, $145 million. Not a lot in terms of a big housing scheme, right? He also said the government was targeting distressed condos and buying them at a discount. Again, the question is, how distressed and how much of a discount? Like, sure, if the buildings are a bit dilapidated or behind code, or we remember probably fairly recently like stories of the condos in Toronto that had all glass facades
that were just spitting glass out, like
literally failing and popping out because they were only designed to stay there for about 10 years in the first place,
and didn't make
how that got built with that kind of guarantee, I don't know. But yeah, insanity. So it's like, how dilapidated and how much is it going to cost to fix, and how much of a discount are we talking about here? Not very clear. It just sounds nice to say, oh, we're targeting these fixer uppers and buying them at a discount. Okay, but the devil is very much in the details there.
Is it a discount at an already inflated price?
Yeah, it's already inflated. We know that. Yeah. Exactly.
And is it a discount on a building that should be razed to the ground?
Yeah, and is it better to just tear the sucker down?
And does the discount take into account the amount of renovations or bringing up to code that would be required?
How much is that going to cost? And is it going to be worth the cost, so to speak? Is this an efficient way of doing this?
And if not, then what?
Yeah, because as I just said before, why are we somewhat rewarding the failure? Like, if they allowed these distressed condos to become distressed, and these private owners who are expecting to profit off them and receive some sort of return on investment, why are they distressed? Why did these private owners, who are apparently the most efficient and best at doing this, have a bunch of empty, distressed condos?
No.
Like, if they were running themselves as a responsible, functional business so well, how is this where we're at? And why are we paying anything for it, given that? So the province of British Columbia, which initiated the idea, sees an opportunity to potentially, given what's happening in the market, to convert some of these condos that are laying unsold to affordable housing. Convert some of them. Like, lots of fluffy language here. Opportunity, potentially convert them into affordable housing. Some of them, particularly rent to buy affordable housing. And I gotta say, despite all the problems with Trudeau, he did try to float this idea of pushing a rent to buy program for renters, and it largely got rejected by the rest of the party. So that, like, I remember him kind of pushing for that, but it never went anywhere. So is like, are we doing Trudeau's plan now? Is that where we're at? And people who don't have money for a down payment but can build that equity over time. Okay, if we recognize the general amount of the population doesn't have money for a down payment, converting it to a rent to buy program where we are losing, like, how much of this rental is being just lost to the landlord, right? How much equity? What's the percentage that we're building here? And again, why are we being punished for an unfair system by being shuttled into a rent to buy program? Sure, rent to buy could be objectively better than just renting forever and never owning anything. Sure, that is better, but it still feels like, as that mortgage expert that was quoted earlier, it feels like we're socializing losses. And so buying them at a discount at the right time, financing, terming that out, setting up a rent-to-own structure for truly affordable housing. Again, that's such fluffy political language. Truly affordable housing. Doing this rent-to-own program will make it truly affordable. You know what's affordable? Just giving it to people.
Yeah, that would be nice. Like, if taxpayer
affordable.
dollars are going to it, it should be free. Like,
yeah, we already paid for it. I have no problem with somebody in British Columbia who's been dying to buy housing using some of my tax dollars, even over here in Ontario, to be able to finally have a home. I don't have an issue with that.
I want people to have stable housing.
Yeah. That's
right. And that's a big difference between a lot of home ownership versus rentership, especially in Ontario. If you're renting a building that was built after 2018 or occupied after 2018, is that the landlord can, increase to wherever the fuck they feel like. And so that is not housing stability. That is housing instability based on the whims of the landlord and the market. So, yeah, I am totally in favor of ways to make sure that people can stay housed. What's the
how dare
downside?
you? How dare you, Nat?
I know.
I mean,
I am the bad side of the force.
Yeah.
Radical.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people, like, when they abolished homelessness in Finland, like, did you have a lot of people going, but think of the developers? Like, was that, I wonder, like, because I don't know. I don't have a finger on the pulse of Finnish politics. I just know that's a thing that they have successfully done, and it's been a very successful program. But, like, was there a bunch of hand-wringing about, what about the poor developers? Like,
I have no homeless people in my backyard anymore. Okay, I'm missing out on community.
Like, I see all these, like, very conservative people in places like Toronto, Hamilton, that kind of have this swelling homelessness problem, where you have the homelessness encampments and these kind of conservative reactionaries going, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. We got to shuttle them off somewhere else or whatever. But also we can't give them housing because that's bad too. And it's like, what's your actual solution then? What is the end game there? Jail?
Because, like,
paying for them?
Because like they don't they either don't see or don't care about the contradictions. There is that I want to pay to arrest them, I want to pay to ship them out, I want to pay to harass them, to throw away their stuff, I want to pay to keep them stuck in this whirlpool of shit. But I don't want to pay for them to be able to sustainably house themselves and to have any opportunity to not be in the shitty situation that they're in. Right?
Develop themselves into a functional, contributing member of society, like rehabilitation program is supposed to do. You know?
Like, as a left-wing baddie, I don't think that we need to prove our worth through our labor and through selling our labor.
Mhm.
I think that people should be housed and fed and have health care anyways. But that's just because I'm a radical psychopath.
I think
But
there's a
I
You
sorry,
unhinged
continue,
commie.
and then I'll say my piece. Sorry.
yeah,
Continue.
and so like, but I also understand that economically, for people who need justification for these positions, economically, it saves money to actually give people dignity and stability and healthcare and food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I that's why it's like the language is almost important. Like
Yeah,
saying like if you say like productive or you know
yeah.
like even contributing member, but like I think contributing member is
It
kind of
sure
okay.
seems.
Like because I think like there's a difference between being economically involved in society and just being part of society.
Mm,
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I want is I want them to be a part of society, and part of that
yeah.
is giving
Yeah.
them housing and
Yeah.
being, you know.
Like
And
if
opportunities to be able to interact in their communities and be
yeah.
part of the
Exactly,
community.
If the
exactly.
most functional member of society means they are contributing to the economy somehow, if that is the ideal, then we have to get them to that level somehow. It isn't something you can just snap your fingers and do.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, how what is it? I had somebody in that TikTok live I was talking about earlier saying like, oh, the USSR, they could have actually done socialism. They just like didn't. And it's like, no, socialism is a process and you have to
Mhm.
decouple it from market economics. And it's not something you can simply switch a flip over, flip a switch over, switch a flip, flip a
Sure.
switch over, and it just is going to work. It's not magical like that. We actually have to recognize reality and
Mhm.
have
And it's incredibly hard to do in a
it's
capitalist
very
global
hard.
world.
Exactly. You are it's like those memes where you see like the picture of the little knight with a sword with like the giant monster, and it's like, yeah, USSR versus, you know, global capitalist hegemony, or Cuba versus global capitalist hegemony.
Yeah.
You are looking into the belly of a very large beast there, and it's weird that we don't even have like sympathy for that to a certain extent. But yeah, I desperately need to step out for a quick washroom break. So you guys continue for a second, and I will be right back.
Let's talk about his mustache.
Okay.
No, it's just on the TikTok live. It
Yeah, no, that's TikTok's like that because I feel like compared to like other socials even, especially like live streaming, there's a lot more like anonymity on TikTok because
Yeah.
if you go into someone's like live and you know, most people aren't going to like go and then check your profile and then, you know, unless you're you know, so people just say whatever they want and keep scrolling and it's just like, yeah.
Respect. I mean, that's why I enjoy Reddit because I don't look at people's profiles, and I
and even if you did, like
Yeah.
you might
I
not
can
get any
legitimately be
information.
interacting with the same person every day for the past 20 years and have no idea because I don't look at screen names on Reddit. That's just because for
Yeah.
me, Reddit, the purpose of Reddit is to be like to throw a comment out into the ether and then just it's gone. Even though there's history of it, but like I don't
but like you don't it doesn't belong to anybody. It's just part of Reddit, you know. It doesn't belong to any individual
which is why I like
person.
it as opposed to other platforms where, you know, there's you can expect people to come back about issues such as like, you know, Facebook or what have you.
Mhm.
Yeah, Reddit is just like throw nonsense into the void. Um, not not bullying nonsense because that's gross.
Yeah, for
But just like, you know, if someone posts something and I'm just like butt
I'm
fart,
back.
right?
We're just talking about Reddit.
Talking about
Oh
butt
yeah.
fart.
Yeah, butt fart.
My contribution to Reddit is like butt fart, run away. Because
Oh,
like,
like in terms of people being like stupid in discussions.
well, no, just in terms of like making throwaway comments and then never
Yeah.
expecting to circle back to it ever
Oh yeah,
again.
yeah.
Ever
Like
again.
you get like yeah, you'd get these people in like the TikTok lives and stuff, just like chiming in, going, "Socialism doesn't work," and I'd be like, "Okay, neither does capitalism. I
Yeah.
win.
Now what?
Now what?" Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, like what do you think you're actually saying? What are you bringing to the table when you say this stuff? Is it like I get the distinctive feeling it's just to make themselves feel better, to a certain extent.
You
But
want to
yeah.
trigger the libs.
Yeah. So I wanted
look,
to.
the libs are already triggering themselves and each other. So like, don't worry about them. They're doing poorly and well enough on their own.
Yeah.
You don't need to intercept.
Yeah. The left is pretty good at triggering themselves, but when you're talking about the centrist libs, oh man, they're very good at triggering themselves from all angles, because they are grasping not only about progressive politics and like, you know, good things like, you know, getting upset about bigotry and stuff, but they're also upset about like, don't threaten my market, don't threaten my capitalism. How dare
Or they just be like, Israel is definitely going too far, but for you to say from the river to the sea, like you want to
really
wipe
bad
out
too.
Israel. Yeah.
Even though Israel's very much established policy is from the river to the sea, Israel. You know, like not Palestine. But
not the
Israel.
only democracy in the Middle East. Excuse me.
Yeah. Look,
you know,
that
actually kind of conveniently smooths into the next topic in terms of democracy and how that works. But yes, go ahead.
The most stable foundation is built on the blood and skulls of infants. Otherwise, how are you going to make sure the building stands?
Yeah. The foundation must be in
those
blood.
babies were terrorists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Structurally,
what is it? As I like
exactly.
to say, if you know, what is it? I think it was Internet Hippo comedy account, big on like Twitter and Blue Sky and stuff like that. And I think it was him who said something like, "Hey, I don't know about you guys, but if my whole family got blown up, and I was a Palestinian." And I was a child and my whole family got blown up by Israel, my first order of business as an adult is to join Hamas or Hamas Part 2 or whatever the case may be. So, you know, realistically, when you blow up a child's entire family, you have essentially created a future terrorist in a manner of speaking, but that was your doing. You did that to them.
I'm a lesser evil voter, and statistically, Hamas is the lesser evil. So
and like we and the silly thing is that
I like that.
We have currently the example of the Israeli actions against Palestinians, but we don't even need to go that far afield, right? Like, you know, we can go to the Troubles in Ireland. We can go to like, you know, in North America. Like, we can go to just it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
the same story.
It's
almost
always
every
the
time.
same story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a matter that in North America, we've been propagandized so sufficiently that we don't recognize ourselves in these stories, because we've, in some ways, have been separated from our history and from all these atrocities. We've been very purposefully and selectively propagandized to separate ourselves from these atrocities. And so you might not recognize all of the similarities that you have with Palestinians because it might not have happened directly to you, to your siblings, to your parents.
Yeah. I mean, give Israel a few decades if they're still doing their shit, and they'll start doing land acknowledgements.
Yeah.
You know?
So sorry. So sorry that we blowed up your families. We feel bad about it now.
Yeah, they'll be like, we've acknowledged it. Okay, now let's move on.
Are you going to give any housing or land back to the Palestinians? No. We just kind
sorry,
of feel
the
bad
signal's
about it.
breaking up. I didn't hear you. Anyway, moving on.
Tying into what you were saying about succession planning earlier and how we tend to like elect people and like efficient styles of government and things like that. I feel like a lot of what we talked about is leading to this moment that, again, I did not pre-plan, but I saw this video the other day and it made me laugh because the tone of this video seems to be suggesting this is all a bad thing, but it explains how Chinese officials, Chinese government officials actually climb through the ranks and gain greater leadership. And it's funny because to me, it sounds like he's struggling to make this sound like a bad thing. But Here we go.
Picture any Western politician who built a career on charisma and getting elected. Now imagine telling them the path to power requires 20 years of rotating between obscure positions in provinces where you know no one, being graded by superiors you didn't choose, trusting that an opaque committee will eventually decide whether you're ready. They would probably...
Ooh, scary red letters. And, people you don't know are judging your performance. Yeah.
Wait, you have to experience other communities in your country?
Yeah. And you have to be under the guy, like the authority above you are people you're not friends with and buddies with and went to college with and greased each other's palms and families know each other. Oh, how terrible. Yeah.
They never agree. But that is exactly how Xi Jinping rose to power. Party secretary of Ningde, a coastal prefecture in Fujian. Then Fuzhou. Then governor of Fujian, then party secretary of Zhejiang, then briefly Shanghai, each posting outside his native Shaanxi. None required a public election. Every promotion was a decision made by superiors evaluating his dossier. The organization department was the body managing him, and every cadre in the system goes through the same machine. After entering through a competitive exam, you're sent to a county-level position far from your hometown. The OD doesn't let cadres serve.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm struggling to find anything bad about this. Oh, you have to constantly be proving your qualifications and how you're serving the people. And if you want to rise through the ranks in this party, you have to go to and visit and experience places and communities that you maybe don't already understand to expand your understanding of this vast country and serve those people adequately as well. Terrible.
I'm loving the comment.
How awful. Oh, yeah, the comment. Yeah, this makes more sense. It's a merit-based promotion rather than a popularity contest. Yeah. No kidding.
At senior levels in their native provinces, a rule formalized in 1999 to prevent local power bases from forming. You're evaluated annually against a 100-point system. GDP growth, tax revenue, public order, implementation of central policy. Your personnel file follows you for life. You will never see what's inside it. Every 2 or 3 years, you rotate again. The funnel narrows at every level. Of roughly 40 million cases.
The scary music is just so funny.
Yeah, it's like
2 million.
Sorry.
Okay, it feels kind of like Carney trying to explain things, but it's like, as opposed to what? Because this is a lot of the questions that come up for me with folks like this trying to scarify things that they don't understand. As opposed to what?
Yeah.
Like
we've seen what the alternative is. You're trying to pose this against how we do things here in the West.
Yeah.
And it's like comparatively, I don't see what your point is.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so you're putting scary music and you're trying to frame it as something bad, but like, unless you step by step showing me a better way,
yeah,
I'm not following what the scare factor is.
So basically, in order to climb the ranks as a Chinese government official, you have to constantly just be killing it and doing your job super well everywhere they send you. Otherwise, you're not going to be granted more power. That sounds good. I don't know what sounds bad about that.
This also begs the question of the original narrator post guy. I don't know what title he should have. Anyways,
OP. Yeah.
Yeah, OP. What do you do for work?
Probably this.
No. But what I mean is that like, what do you think work is?
Yeah.
Because
these guys love the corporate power structure, right? Climbing the ranks based on merit through a corporation. Well, that's kind of how China seems to be structuring this in a lot of ways.
It's because
except most of the time they don't make you work in the mailroom once you become an executive, like this structure kind of is. But maybe they should. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it's because they know, like, people like this know that corporate work structure, that's not actually how you get promoted. It's being friends.
It is nepotism and social.
The network.
It is a popularity contest, so to speak. Yeah.
I think this would be funny to do on TikTok. But to do a bunch of videos of, like, I don't know, universal health care, and then put scary music on it with scary graphics like this, and be like, and then all of your medical information will be in one area, and the hospitals and the doctors could all find out about you anytime you come in. You know?
And you could also access it and find your test results and like
right
look at them for
away.
yourself. Yeah.
Do you want your doctor to know your medical history? Yeah.
Like
You're
lightning.
paying taxes. Do you want to get more? Like it's just, we'll just scarify political discourse.
Yeah. And
We'll meet
every
at this
angle.
side.
Yeah.
Cadres, maybe 2 million reach the leading cadre threshold. Of those, only a few thousand land on the central nomenclatura. 205 sit on the Central Committee, 24 on the Politburo, 7 on the Politburo Standing Committee. In American terms, she was being managed up through a corporate ladder. The ladder happened to
opposed
lead
to
to
what?
control of 1.4 billion people. Picture any
Okay. And when they say you have control over 1.4 billion people, nobody phrases it like that in the West. Like, we don't say the president of the United States has control over 300 million people. Like it's
400
just
million
like
now, but
or 400 million, whatever they got down there. But like we never phrase it, oh, you control this amount of people. It's like control is the wrong word. You are
I mean, you probably
you are
leading?
a public servant. That is what this is supposed to be about.
that's what it's supposed to be. But like as of
Yeah.
right now, I think that's more accurate.
Yeah. And so like when you're talking about public service, that's what these Chinese officials are being ranked on. How good a job did you do actually providing to the public?
Yeah.
And they're scoring you based on that.
Also, did we completely forget who Donald Trump has appointed leaders around him?
Absolutely.
Like RFK
Absolutely.
Jr. and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
that's
nobody
Dr.
voted
Oz.
for,
Oh my
for
God.
RFK. Yeah.
Yeah.
I block him out.
Yeah. So like, to act like, especially in comparisons like these, that Western democracy is just like so superior. And then, you got all these like Westerners, English speakers in the comments being like, actually, this kind of sounds better.
like, do we really have a choice if it's always like vote this or the other guy gets in? Like, is that?
Yeah. Like, I've shared the meme multiple times, but it's like a stock photo of a masked robber holding a gun to a woman's head, and it's like the masked robber is the Democrats and the gun is the Republicans, and the woman is the voters, and it's like, vote for us or else. Like that seems to be the essence of every election, right? Meanwhile, these guys have to actually prove their bona fides and their merit and what they've actually been able to accomplish for the people in their constituency, particularly people that they did not grow up around. These are they're being sent to some rural other part of the country to understand the plight in the community there, so you can gain a greater understanding of what the country as a whole looks like. How is that bad? How is that bad?
Because
I am
ew.
struggling. Yeah. But in terms of China doesn't exactly have freedom of information requests as we
That's
currently
okay. In
understand
Ontario,
it.
we don't either.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, and like,
Exactly.
there's a lot of times those like even in the States and stuff, those can get denied or
Yeah.
And
so but the thing is, Xi Jinping and his government, it seems to be pretty transparent. Like he releases regular volumes and updated volumes of his written work, The Governance of China, explaining this is what we're planning to do. This is how we plan to do it. Sure, you don't have this like voting type of democratic, as we understand it here in the West, to decide who is going to do it and how, but they do seem to put a great amount of effort into being transparent about what their plans are, being transparent in how people actually climb the ranks in their government and how government power works. They do make sure the people actually understand that. Again, I fail to see how that's worse than what we got going on, because as you just said, when it comes to freedom of information requests, we are not proving ourselves to be super great at that either. Ontario's freedom of information changes are now law. Why experts say that could hurt the government? Well, it's certainly going to hurt the rest of us because Ford's calendar, hospital deficits, flu briefings amongst records kept secret under the new FOI laws. What the hell? We can't find out what our own premier is doing? We don't have access to that information anymore.
We're turning into communist China.
Yeah, but
I honestly like that is one piece that I would be for propagandizing out there. Like, guys, look how Ford is turning us into communist China, right?
That's our first dark video.
Yeah. Up.
yeah.
Got the dark music.
yeah.
All right, so
The red
I know
glowing
what
letters.
my hobby is going to be this weekend.
Yes.
So just reading this headline is so freaking dystopian. Ford's calendar, hospital deficits, flu briefings amongst the records that we no longer have access to. Why? What is he hiding? What is the point? So the reality of Premier Doug Ford's changes to Ontario's freedom of information system are beginning to take hold as rejections and denials make their way to requesters. While strategists and academics say the controversial changes, I hate that word when it comes to what's supposed to be, I guess, flat voice journalism. They're not trying to editorialize anything, but controversial changes. I hate the word controversial in this. Shit, it's shit. and journalists should have the balls to not just call it, oh, it's controversial, people are having controversy about it. No, this is dangerous and it's bad for us. Even the CBC should have the ability to call it as such. I don't know what this soft language is about, but may allow the government to avoid the release of contentious material. It could also undermine trust in the progressive conservatives as examples emerge of once public documents now being kept under wraps. Well, yeah, it's. I feel like most of the conservative base here is not going to give a shit because they're kind of already on board with everything Doug is going to do, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that Trumpism level of stuff, where it's like, even if it looks like what he's doing is fucked up, there's this fundamental trust in he has a plan. He's playing 4D chess. He's going to make it all. It's all going to work out somehow.
Bitch doesn't even know how to play tic-tac-toe. What the fuck?
That seems to be the kind of conservative outlook. When their tough strong man is standing up there doing a strong man thing, like, I'm going to reject your FOI, and it's like, I am speculating here, but I feel as though the conservative constituency is going, yeah, good. Get those libs out of your hair so you can do your job and trust in the plan. And so the Ford government announced the changes exempting the premier, his cabinet, and their staff from FOA laws in March and passed the bill a month later. The law applied retroactively. How is that not alarming? How can you go into the past when it comes to changing a law?
Whistleblower could do the funniest thing right now.
yeah.
They need to. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
If not blow whistle now, then when?
Yeah. So there are killing requests already made in the system and prompting a number of rejections. In recent weeks, requests for more information about hospital deficits, flu briefings, Billy Bishop, airport records have all been rejected because of the new laws. Why? Under what pretense are you rejecting them? What interest do you have? What is the reasoning behind the rejection? They can't even give some lame excuse like it's national security, or like, I don't know. On Monday, CBC Toronto highlighted the latest of those turfed requests, saying it has been denied access to Ford's calendar, a record that has for years been made public under FOI rules. Yeah, it's pretty normal to know what the leader of the province is up to.
The public worker? Yeah.
We are literally paying him to do this. How come we can't know what he's doing? That seems pretty undemocratic, guys.
You'd think, but you'd have to think.
Yeah, so like even this, like I don't know why this is even the quote. I don't know if there's a reason to restrict that information, said York University public policy and administration professor Zach Spicer. What do you mean you don't know? Like there's only one good reason to hide that information, because what they're doing is fucking sketchy.
If you work a minimum wage job, you are on fucking camera and your piss breaks are monitored.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You get some fur babies being rambunctious in the background
there. They're fighting each other.
So how I spend my day is something that is audible by my employer, and the same goes for the Premier of Ontario, kind of like you just said, Jess. Cabinet ministers and public servants writ large. Yeah, they are beholden to us. We should absolutely know what they're up to at any given time. I should be able to Google at any moment and know exactly where Doug Ford is and why he's there. That should be pretty much it, unless he's maybe on like a family vacation in a cabin. Then I kind of don't give a shit.
I give a shit. I want to know where his family vacations in a cabin. Yeah. I just happen to
he owns multiple properties. I want to know this.
Yeah, we should know that. We should absolutely know that. Yeah. Previous system cumbersome but valuable, expert says. Like what is with this attempt at being balanced in the face of something that is so fundamentally obviously unbalanced? It feels like journalistic malpractice here. Spicer, who has once worked as a civil servant in the Ministry of Municipal, that's a mouthful, Ministry of Municipal Affairs, said that the FOI system can be cumbersome and complicated to administer. It does offer an important glimpse into the inner workings of taxpayer-funded government. So if anything, the argument should be here and made explicitly said is we have gone in the opposite direction of what those FOIs should be. We should be making freedom of information more accessible, less cumbersome, not impossible. So when you purposely restrict access to things, you get the public asking why. And is this government hiding something? You lose a lot of public trust. Yeah, no fucking shit. Like, why are we being explained this like we don't already know? Again, journalistic malpractice. Ford has repeatedly defended the changes in recent months, saying the province is bringing its FOI system in line with the federal government. I'm pretty sure we can get FOI from the federal government.
I don't know. Maybe Carney's thinking. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we can. Maybe we should check. Maybe we should look right now.
We are duplicating what the federal government is doing. We are an outlier. I should have done this 8 years ago. I'm going to have to look a little more into that, but I feel like that's A, not true, and B, if it is true, why and who did that? Because one guy I remember being distinctly bad when it came to bucking the press about everything at every turn was Harper. Harper was notorious for this, like not answering questions, avoiding giving public access to things.
Muzzling him.
So destroying. We are quite obviously going in the wrong direction here. Yeah. McMaster University political science professor Peter Grafe said that the calendars give Ontarians a clear picture of who the premier is meeting with and the ability to line that up with decisions his government is making, which sounds pretty good to me. To the extent that so much power is now concentrated around the premier and the premier's office, knowing who the premier is meeting is crucial in terms of making assessments of whether due process was followed or whether certain interests are getting preferential treatment. Like, we already know that this guy has been really shady when it comes to, greenbelt land development deals, being really shady and stuff like that when we had this FOI to begin with. So we already know what he's doing is shady. Why are we phrasing this like, this could be potentially shady? No, it fucking is. It is shady.
I think the problem with journalism is the whole problem with the fact that we have to do the black and white thing. Like they think being non-biased it means being this way, when really sometimes non-bias is just like stating what's true.
Yeah,
And
like
that's true.
they also try to convince us that being non-biased means that every day you wake up fresh as newborn babe with none of the information that you've gathered over the decades of your lifetime and experience, and that you need to approach every single situation with this kind of naivete and never apply any kind of systemic understanding of
every
patterns
single
to
thing
anything.
Yeah, every single thing that happens ever is this own isolated incident in a vacuum, and we got to treat it like this special little compartment. No, it's not part of a greater system or web of things. No, it's just this one thing, and if we get rid of that, everything will be fine. It doesn't connect to anything else, though. It is such like a fundamental contradiction that if you think about it for 10 seconds, you should be like, wait, what the hell? If nothing is connected to anything else, then how would solving this one isolated problem benefit us in the greater scheme? You can't.
And some of the best
say one thing and do the
journalists,
other.
documentarians, everything out there, they're telling the story.
Yeah.
The story that's true.
Yeah,
they're
like you
connecting all the
present the
pieces.
facts, but
Yes.
you're allowed to
Yes.
be like, and that's the one quote, I don't remember the origins of it. Basically, the responsibility of the news isn't to say it might be raining outside, it might not be. It's to open the fucking window, look out, and be like, yes, it's fucking raining.
Yeah, and describe the situation accurately.
Yeah. And if
Not
describing
like,
something
"Oh,
accurately
this-
makes someone look bad, then
this
they are
is
doing bad things.
This is perhaps controversial. No, they are
Yeah.
hiding information from you.
Could you
That
imagine
should be
saying
the
that about
frame.
Hitler? You're like,
Yeah.
okay, he has some
pretty
controversial
fucking-
opinions.
He was a little controversial. He was a little controversial.
I'm pretty
Don't
sure
want
they
to
did.
don't want to say anything too
Of course
strong.
they did. The propaganda, oh, for sure. But that's
Yeah.
the point. That shows that it's like right-wing propaganda just from placating it.
Yeah. So, like the more and more like the argument about, well, at least we're not like China gets weaker and more absurd by the fucking hour. I wish we were more like China. Was it, when I do some of those TikTok lives or get in political discussions with people, I especially non-Canadians or Albertans in particular, love to say things like,
Albertans. I like that, like, beside
yeah,
non-Canadians or Albertans.
parallel. They'd love to say things like Canada is socialist, and it's like, I fucking wish.
I know the communist Canada. I'm like, what? Really?
Oh, okay, you're so in bed with.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wish we were so in bed with China that we would copy the corporatized merit structure that we have to climb the political ladder.
I would love if we had capital punishment for CEOs who commit egregious crimes. That would be amazing.
Because
I'm like against capital
my acne and clear
punishment.
my
Like,
gout.
that sounds like I'm against capital punishment, but at this point, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Transitional state.
Yeah,
you know?
like what is it? Like China is the only country I'm aware of that actually does full on punish the billionaire class, the ownership class, when they step out of line and actually do something that harms the people. Like, oh, you embezzled money and you're a billionaire capitalist owner that we allow to exist within our socialist society, you're fucked. We're going to throw you in the darkest hole. And it's like, yeah, when you have that level of power and responsibility over other people, you probably should be held to that standard. It is
well, just like the way that in Canada and elsewhere, but in Canada, the way that police officers, for example, they have so much power, and yet they're held to like the lowest fucking standard of conduct.
Fucking
Like,
babies.
completely absurd.
Look
Completely
at
absurd.
what is it? Trillionaire Elon Musk. Well, he's now down below trillionaire status because of his whole
until he's less than
scam.
100 there, I don't give a fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he's
But this is essentially one of the most powerful men on earth by virtue of hoarding wealth, and he is held to no standard at all. Like none. He can literally do whatever the fuck he wants.
USA.
Yeah.
USA.
But he wields incredible power over other people. I thought the whole idea is with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, apparently with great power means I'm not responsible for anything. And that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Great system we got going. So yeah, the comparisons to China just get more ludicrous all the time. It's so funny. I wish people would funny in a bad way. I wish people would I don't know, learn about this more before coming into my comments and being like, oh, well, what about China? It's like, you obviously don't know a single fucking thing about China. That's just a scary buzzword.
Give me
to you.
trains.
What? I mean, it's the same way that they'd be like, oh, you are a scary communist. You are a scary socialist. These are terrible, awful, terrible things. And it's like every single scary thing that you describe under socialism or communism are things that are actually happening currently under capitalism. So until you read a fucking book, I don't want to hear it.
Fucking projection all the time.
Like, you don't even necessarily have to read a book. There's probably a fairly smart guy who has done the reading on TikTok. You just have to find the right guy. Like not some like weirdo in Oakley's yelling from behind his steering wheel, but like a guy who's actually done the reading.
Also, if you're getting your content from someone who is posting content while they're actively driving, they're not a good example.
Yeah,
I don't care what the subject matter is, other than don't do this.
Well, what I notice a lot of times, somewhat to their credit, I don't know about all the videos. I'm sure they're actually driving in some of them, but a lot of them, it looks like they're just in their driveway, which makes me like imagine in my mind they're literally like go out to their car, sit in their driveway, and do their video from behind the wheel, and then just get out and go back into their house. And to me, that there's something very funny about that. I don't know.
mean, that's the least worst situation.
That's what I imagine they're doing. It's like, and I don't know what the car thing is. Is it because it's like a private room outside of your house where nobody's going to hear you? Is that part of it, or is it because you want to flex like, I'm a working class man.
That's what I was thinking.
I own a car, and therefore you're seeing me sitting in the car that I own.
Not just own the car. I'm either on my way or just coming back from work.
Yes, I am doing
in a truck that I don't use for work.
Yeah. Of course.
in a truck that I haul nothing in and live in suburbia. Yeah.
Like if I'm going to be posting these lives parked in our car that I've monikered Mavis, no one's going to be impressed. They'll know I'm working class, but no one's going to be impressed.
And on that note, thank you so much, everybody, for joining the show. We are above the hour. This has been the Rough Report. And thanks so much for joining us again. The plan is that we will be back next week with more stuff. The whole thing about Elon Musk's stock market scam and how it's going to fleece the retail investor market, that is going to affect in 2 days. So we might have some updates about that.
So Sean, does Sean want to come back on?
Yeah, maybe we should have Sean back on. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Again, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to Jess. Thanks to Nat. Thanks to you, the viewer, for being here and in the comments. And we will see you next week. And as always, stay rough.